Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve for those watching on the day of. Hey, Lego Geek, what's up? Lego Geek, if you want to join in, please let me know, and I can just send me a DM on whatever service or whatever, and I can send you a link to get in the chat or to get in the stream with us. Beth's joining us tonight. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
I'm also joined by Kodiak Bricks, or Sleepy Kodiak Bricks. Welcome, Kodiak. How's it going?
Tov.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and or Happy Holidays, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, happy holidays. Well, Hanukkah's over. Christmas is tomorrow. I don't know when Kwanzaa starts.
No, I mean, does anyone really know?
Well, we've just lost tens of subscribers. Okay, Julian said he'd join in about 20 minutes. That's cool. So I'm excited. We're going to be doing the Colosseum tonight. That is my present from you.
Mm-hmm. And I was a big meanie and wouldn't let him open it until tonight.
Yeah, I got it on.
But it's a Christmas present.
Yeah, she got it Black Friday. Actually, she just gave me her card and I ordered it. I stayed up till midnight.
Yeah, it was not really much of a surprise there. But I was afraid he was going to get it for himself. So I was like, okay, here's the deal.
Yeah, so I've been sitting on this for a month. And I'm super excited to get going on it. And I realize that the holidays is probably not a great time to stream, but I mean, we're all stuck inside anyway.
Yeah.
Kodiak, you're working on some Darth Designer.
Yeah, so he's got me working on his V22 Raptor. And so, or V22, F22 Raptor.
I was going to say F22. That sounds like a Valkyrie.
I mean, the CV22, I guess, technically is an aircraft, the Osprey, but who knows where my mind's at. Anyway, one of the little details I like to put on stuff is, or rather the instructions themselves are like these little screenshots using the studio render kind of at the end of the set of instructions. I felt somewhat inspired to do that by the sort of instructions of old from back in the day when I used to put those together.
Right.
And so right now I'm trying to generate a interesting looking screenshot featuring the F-22. That's
very cool. That's actually kind of a coup and you told me about doing instructions for him like a week ago or whenever we were talking about it. That's actually kind of a big deal. He's a fairly prolific guy on YouTube, doing designing for a long time, military craft and boats and things like that. So that's super cool. I've actually stolen a couple of his designs to do his microfighters too. So those are very cool that you get to do some stuff for him.
Hi, Jeff. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Jeff. Our friend Jeff on Facebook. Can I see chats from here? I can.
Jeff, that is an interesting way of spelling your name. Not remark. Well, I'm remarking on it. I'm not. I'm not speaking ill against it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think it's a very Scottish way to spell it.
Yeah, that's why we call him GF.
GF.
I don't know if anybody calls him that.
Yeah. And
howdy, Bethany. Mary. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I just seeing in the chat, also on Facebook, Bethany, just saying Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that's her.
That's me.
Oh, hi.
I am a Bethany. I don't know why I'm Bethany on Facebook since it's a personal one. I should just be Beth.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to start cracking my thing open.
Do it.
So I'm going to move this to this camera.
Yeah, please take it off my face.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
I don't think I've put makeup on in like a month.
Actually, I'm going to do this real quick so we can do the unboxing part because it's a giant box.
Oh yeah.
So this is the box. Oh god.
See, I don't know if there's room for me here.
Yeah, this is the whole desk. Takes up the box takes up the whole desk. And look how dusty it is on the top from you not letting me open it.
Listen, again, Christmas present. It wasn't a Thanksgiving present.
Right. I almost feel like I should raise the camera up a little bit, but
you're actually lucky I'm letting you do it now.
What?
I could have been really mean and made you wait. But in my household as a kid, we always got to open one present on Christmas Eve. So
I don't even know how this is supposed to open. I've got an open knife here. Maybe I shouldn't do that to you.
So
it
is
looks
this
like it opens from the sides.
Is this the same color as the bricks from the Capitol?
Yes, I don't need any more tan.
What?
But I have.
Everybody needs more tan.
No, you do not understand how much tan I do not need. You probably do. You've seen photos.
I mean, here and there.
The downside is that I ended up with a lot of extra from that, which I tried to give some back to the lug.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to our ambassador about it, he's like, just, make sure that you don't sell it. I'm like, okay. Because a lot of it was bought by the lug.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't bought by me. But
howdy, Doc Sampson in the chat.
Oh, hey, Doc. What's up? Being here on Twitch, too. I like it. All right, so this box opens to several smaller boxes.
What?
Marked with Roman numerals.
That feels appropriate.
Yeah.
It's like it's a Matryoshka symptom all over again.
Right, exactly. And then each one of these is going to have a smaller box, and then each one of these is going to have a smaller box. And then each bag will have sub-assemblies and assemblies, and it'll just be like that.
Did you know that this is how it was going to be?
Nope, I didn't have any idea. So it's got 4 boxes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to put that under there. So here's box 1. And this is going to be box 1. I'm going to drag these around a little bit. There we go. So I'm using Studio tonight, Restream Studio instead of OBS. So I'm funking around a little with backgrounds and chats and things like that. Doc says, you don't give Thanksgiving presents? No, we don't. We are sticklers when it comes to our Thanksgiving loot.
I also noticed you've given me like 80% of the screen. Why have you done that?
Well, that's why I switched it.
Oh, good. Okay.
Because I was like, man, that camera is really... I want to be able to do like a 2. And also, I don't know how big this is. I'm going to check what it looks like on YouTube real quick. Because I think it's just bigger. It's just the screen real estate on the Mac isn't very big, and then each little screen is a little smaller, and
sure,
just not used to. There we go. Okay. Oh, it looks pretty good.
It looks good on Facebook.
Good. Well, I don't care about Facebook.
I
care about Twitch and YouTube.
Wow. Tell that to Jeff, who's watching on Facebook.
Well, I like Jeff. I just don't like Facebook. The whole reason I don't like Facebook is it made me have to pay for Restream $20 a month so I could stream to Facebook pages. Otherwise, I'm just streaming to my own timeline. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'm going to make a page for my own stuff so I keep from having to just bombard everybody with like, here's my latest little design, here's my latest little build, and then I make a page for it, and nobody goes to the page now. So I'm just like, oh. I'm
sorry, I'm really distracted by your eyebrows.
What's wrong with my eyebrows?
They're sticking up. You got some Eugene Levy action going on. Really, I like it.
Yeah. Moira, if I want to build this set, you got to let me build this set, Moira. We're not going out on the town looking like this. I mean, come on.
Oh,
that's a very bad Eugene Levy.
I mean, it was okay.
Oh my God. All right. So,
I mean, this is bigger than most of the sets that I put together. Just this box.
Yeah.
Like just this one box.
So to give you an idea, this is the box. This is the instruction booklets for the Nintendo. And that's the full thing. You saw how big that was.
Yeah.
And this is just one box for this.
Oh my God.
Now this is going to be. There's a lot of smaller pieces. Professor X eyebrows. Yes.
Yes, very much so.
I can't wait till I'm like retired and I can just grow my eyebrows into my hairline. I think that'll be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. That will happen eventually.
This is going to be a very repetitive build. So
this should be fun to watch.
Well, I'm only okay. So here's the thing, y'all. I'm going to be doing probably 1 or 2, maybe 3 streams of this. But there was somebody online who did like the entire build. Oh, I was going to set up a time lapse for this. Dag nabbit.
Oh, well.
Did you just say dag nabbit?
I did. There's time lapses about it somewhere else. So they've done their whole stream is like 2 or 3 hours at a time, and they've done 4 or 5 of these, and it's just them building this. Plus, Boone Builds got to this before I did, and everybody got to it before I did. So
I'm sorry I didn't let you open it.
I could have done it. I could have done it the day after Black Friday. He already had it done before then, anyway.
Oh, okay.
And then he had got the set, built it, taken it apart, designed an alternate version in studio, and was building that. Like,
Okay,
that was on.
That's just flexing at that point.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's totally dunking on everybody in the community at that point.
Was that the guy that was on the show?
Yeah, that I was on his stream for a hot second.
Yeah. Well, for the whole stream, more than a hot second.
It's funny because I remember being on it and then seeing who was on later, and I'm like, oh my God, he actually has like actual people on later.
You're an actual person.
No, I'm not. I am a meat popsicle. All right, so you're going to move that because there should be no beverages on the table.
Oh, my bad.
Well, I mean, there's computers and Lego up here. And I'm going to move all these over
I
here.
have beverages at my desk at work all the time.
I don't trust that at all. That doesn't make it better.
I was going to say I've never spilled anything yet, but that's completely untrue.
You want to tempt fate?
Well, no, it's completely untrue. I've spilled many things on my keyboard.
So Beth,
Ben,
tell us what exciting thing has happened to us in the last week.
well, our dog got a new toy that she loves.
Are you kidding me?
The cat's still fat. No. So we finally.
Sorry for the crinkling.
We finally got our podcast published. Yeah. So if anyone is interested in listening to it, it is called Here We Come. It's a podcast about the Canadian kids show Ready or Not. So it's super specific.
And timely. It hasn't been out since the 90s.
But it was one of my favorite shows as a kid. So it's basically just a recap podcast.
Yeah, it's a review recap podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've had 35 downloads, I think.
Yeah.
So that's just iTunes, right? Or is that
No,
all
that's
together?
all of them together. Yeah, the thing is, we've been sitting on this for like 4 months. We kept meaning to do it. We watched the show. We took some notes. Then it was like another couple months till we reviewed it.
Well, we actually
And
reviewed the
recorded
same
it.
episode on your stream.
Yeah, so we've talked about this on this stream back in the day. And but now it's official. And I'll tell you what, for a 22-minute show, we talked for an hour. We talked for almost 2 hours. And I got it down to an hour and a half.
My were probably about 15 minutes of that.
I was joking with Beth that because I'm doing all the editing in Audacity, and I can now recognize the waveform shape of her so, and I'm like, anytime I see that shape, I'm like auto delete, if I can programmatically seek out that shape and just delete it. That would be fantastic. That would save like 70% of my job. So
yeah, in that respect, I guess I'm not the best podcaster.
You have to open all 3 of these bags at once? Oh no, it just says 1. Okay, well, where are all my little Technic? I'm going to open all these. So these are coming in these bags right here. There are 4 of these bags for just these platforms. I'm going to get all these open.
So, Kodiak, are you from Texas or are you from out of town?
No, I'm born and raised in Utah.
Oh, okay. We're in Utah, if you don't mind me.
No, not at all. So I'm in Salt Lake at the moment,
Uh-huh.
which I know narrows it down so much.
My aunt lived in Murray, Utah.
Okay, so I'm give or take about 10, 15 miles away from Murray. So
Okay.
Which is weird because there's a Murray, Kentucky.
Where I
too.
went to school. Yeah, it was always. Yeah, but I went to visit her spring break of like my 8th grade year, and I went back 2 times that summer because I loved it so much.
8th grade, what is that? 13?
13, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and this is like, I actually wanted to go to school at the University of Utah at one time.
okay.
Not Brigham Young, but the University of Utah.
I don't think I could have gotten into Brigham Young.
I don't think so. Either.
I have my thoughts and feelings on Brigham Young University.
Yeah.
This is not the place for me to share them.
Right. Yeah.
I have thoughts too, but only because we went to Air Force football games a lot and they played BYU. So my only interaction with BYU is the football team that we saw once a year.
Is their football team good?
For the conference they were in, there were times in like the late 80s and early 90s, they were very good for their conference. They suffer from a lot of like what the sort of middle American service academy or smaller university kind of things, where it's like they are the best in what weird little league they're in or conference. So they were always like, we were always lumped in with like, we would play Notre Dame, like the Air Force would play Notre Dame. And there was this weird agreement with like NBC where Notre Dame had to play a service academy and it was always Air Force. And we're like, we're constantly getting trounced by them. And BYU perennially kicked our butts too. I shouldn't say our butts because I didn't play football for the Air Force. Their butts.
Sure.
But yeah, it's gorgeous out there. My boss actually, because I work remotely and we have people from all over the country that like we don't all work in Austin, but my boss, actually former boss, she lives in Salt Lake, and I told her once this was all over with, we were going to come and visit her because Salt Lake is just gorgeous.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are prettier parts of Utah. I will admit that. I never to plug myself, but I do have a whole Instagram dedicated to just, the scenery of Utah and everything that's around.
You should totally plug yourself.
Yeah, it's not your current one, is it? Do you have 2?
No. So yeah, I have 2. So there's the one I contact you through is my Kodiak bricks, where that one's just kind of hobby dedicated. The other one is just my name. It's Dave_Hollingshead. And yeah, that one's just full of like landscape and wildlife photos that I take.
I think I followed you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, followed by Ben's Brick Designs. Yeah. I am totally followed. Awesome.
Oh, much obliged.
I need to split mine up. I think that's a great idea. I think I should take Ben's Brick Designs and split it up and then just have mine so I can post pictures of cats and my kids and stuff and not mix them.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at like the Trending Brick and Darth Designer and Query's Workshop, and they just post Lego. That's it.
Yeah, I also tag you in all of the dog and cat pictures, and all the wedding stuff. So,
hey, look, Beth.
How many of those do you have?
That many.
Good Lord. Okay, so does one come with every set?
Over 500 pieces. It's a certain number of pieces. Over that amount, you get one. And some of them, you get, I don't know what dictates whether you get a teal one or not.
Ooh, Ben, you've hit the big leagues. You've got a Russian bot in chat.
I know. I saw that. I was looking for a way to like.
What?
I know.
Block them. I had one last chat too. I got 2 of them. I was super excited.
What?
Oh, hitting the big leagues.
No, I must be running some algorithm. Oh God. So I discovered something today. This is fantastic. Now I can't remember what the name of it is. It's okay. So your sternum is made of 3 parts. There's a bone, the main part in the middle, and then there's like a bit at the top, and then there's a little bit of cartilage at the bottom called the xiphoid process. Almost said process.
You said process like you're a Canadian.
Way too much Canadian TV right now. And mine's very sore. And I was looking up why that could be. And it turns out because I'm a big fat kid who likes to eat. That's the reason.
Or you're a runner.
That was the other one. I
right?
am not a runner. At one point, I used to be, but not anymore.
That was the other explanation.
Yeah, it's like running, weightlifting, acid reflux, damage. It was like if you got damaged by something. I'm like, oh.
Just like when I started working out with a trainer for the first time, I had shin splints. And he was like, "Oh, do you run?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
I wear flip-flops all the time. That's why I have shin splints.
Yeah.
But I appreciated that he gave me enough credit to think I was a runner.
Yeah. So yeah, the fact that it was called the xiphoid process, I think that's what it was, right?
You told me, and
I don't think it's xiphoid. I think it's something else.
Oh, Lego Geek says he is ready.
Oh, okay. I will send him. I think I still have his DM from last time.
One can only hope.
Brad Julian. There we go. How come what?
We can't see the
what? Oh, the chat?
Yeah. Oh, because
I.
Gotcha.
All right. So,
I don't know why it's important for me to see the chat. I'm just nosy. I guess I can close my Facebook. You don't get any like type of credit for people who watch on Facebook, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to keep that open. All right. I sent you a DM. Hopefully you get that. And if you don't, let me know. And I'll wait for the thing to pop up in here. There's a lot of pieces going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally forgot where I put this. Oh, it's right here. Okay, good. So yeah, I think this is going to be a I think I'm going to work on it in between streams, and then just if I'm doing stuff on the day I stream, I'll just keep working on this.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be off all next week, so
I could stream every day.
I see.
Well, you could, yeah. I was saying you could work on it every day, but yes, you could stream
do
every
that
day.
too. Well, but I have my vacation list. I got to make sure to knock that out too.
Yeah, you got wedding stuff to take care of. So we are getting married exactly 3 weeks from today.
Yep. Super exciting.
Yeah, nice and quick. Congrats, you two.
Thanks. It is funny that we planned it on a Thursday when we're going to be streaming it. So you still have your normal stream time. I mean, it'll only be like 15 minutes, but.
Oh, sure. But
I told my mom, hey, I'm going to send you a link to Twitch or YouTube, whatever one you want. And she's like, why? I was like, so you can watch the ceremony in January. She's like, oh, well, you're going to have to help me set that up. I'm like, Mom, I'm going to send you a link. And you click on it. She's like, oh.
You click it, you watch, end of story.
She's like, you don't have to, like, do you watch YouTube videos? Yes. Well, that's all you got to do.
There you go.
Well, you're going to have to help me set it up. I'm like, oh, Mom. Oh, there we go. Julian. Julian's joining us. What's up, Julian?
Hello.
How's it going? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
How was your Christmas Eve so far today?
Interesting. It's raining, so that's.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I don't think it's ever rained for me before on Christmas Eve. So,
well, that's
so I have a Christmas Eve story to tell you guys.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I was about, I don't know, 9.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I have no idea what
do you remember when you were around me when I was 9?
I was. Okay, I was born when you were 9. I was a year old.
Right. So that night that Beth was born,
Weird.
It was raining, and in Colorado, that's a weird thing too, because there's generally not snow in Colorado, in Denver on Christmas. It's usually the end of like what used to be called Indian summer, but I don't know what you call it now. Just late harvest summer or whatever. It goes through October through end of December kind of thing.
Sure.
And it was raining a lot on Christmas Eve, but it wasn't, it was like 60 or 70 the day before. And that day was still really warm, and it was raining. And I'm like, this is gross. This is a dumb weather pattern for Christmas. Right.
Sure.
And so my wish to Santa was that we get snow for Christmas. Well, had I been one of these people who look at the weather report, I would have known that there was a giant storm blowing in, and the rain was the first part of it. And the next day, this was 1982, so yeah, I would have been 9.
Mm-hmm.
We got like one of the worst blizzards in Colorado history, and I freaked out because I'm just a kid.
Sure.
I thought that I had made it blizzard and snow and trap everybody and ruin everything. And I told my mom, and she's like, "Oh, you sweet summer child. You're just, no, it's not your fault." But it snowed in my whole family. Like they had come over that night, grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and stuff. And before they could even leave that night, like we went to bed, and before they could leave, it was like 6-foot drifts outside. And they're like, "You guys are not going anywhere. The roads are terrible. So everybody sleeps here tonight." We had this really little house, and my mom's like, "Nobody's sleeping here tonight," you know. But so yeah, for the longest time, I felt that I had caused the blizzard of '82.
Kids are funny.
Yeah. So the rain on Christmas Eve reminded me of that.
Nice.
All right, this is what I got so far. Oh, I don't like. Did we lose Julian?
I'm not hearing him.
Oh, we totally
there
lost
he is.
him for a second. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I got kicked out like 5 minutes ago, but
Oh,
Wow.
sorry.
Did you hear the story at all? The whole story?
I heard the story. I heard I'm
Okay.
pretty sure the most important parts.
Yeah. That's right. Last time you bounced a lot too. I'll just have to keep an eye on that.
Well, I'm on my phone now, so it's even worse.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
Beth, I know you weren't going to stay for the whole thing, but now you're on Julian duty. You
I'm
got to
on
make sure that
How do I know
if this little blue thing turns to gray, then he's gone. Or if it doesn't say on air, then he's gone.
Oh, okay.
I will do my best to make sure that doesn't happen. I will personally call his ISP and say, "Look, I'm doing a live stream on Christmas Eve.
You're gonna ruin Christmas.
Yeah, you've already ruined one person now. That's not true.
Linda Honey, listen.
Yeah.
Are you making it F-22? What is it?
Okay, so are you? I know we kind of talked about the Darth designer last time. So he put out a proposition a little while ago. Bricklink has stopped allowing you to upload stuff unless you upload the instructions with them, supposedly.
Oh, are you kidding? I didn't realize that.
Apparently, according to him.
That's pretty weird.
So I never upload anything, so I haven't fact checked it and or don't really have a reason to.
Yeah, I stopped because their terms of service were like, if you upload it to our site, we own it. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. I could understand you not being a fan of that. Anyway, so the part of that trade-off was he was saying, you know, if you do a good job making the instructions, because he hates the process,
Mm-hmm.
then you can have the file for free.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool.
And I was like, well, I'll throw my hat in the ring.
Do you
So that's
regret
just
that
what
now?
I've been. Well, no, not
yet.
expressly. It's just so what I'm doing here, as I was explaining to Ben and Beth, is that for each of the sets, I kind of like to throw a little flair of personalization onto them. And with that, I do some like rendered screenshots. And I'd show some of the other ones I've taken, but I think I told the program to only look at the studio itself. But basically, I had one showing that like the missile bays open and that you can put bombs in the lower bomb bays or
It looks really good.
whatever you want to do. And so this one, I'm attempting very what's a polite word? With some incredible guesswork going on to try and replicate the Ace Combat 7 cover,
Uh-huh.
but all in Lego.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Because I figured that would be an appropriate application for this. And if you haven't seen the screenshot, it looks, or the cover, it looks kind of like this.
Yeah.
The only one I can think of is the one where they get a shot of it right as the vapor cone when it breaks the sound barrier. That's a pretty popular one too.
So is that an F-22 or F-35?
So this one's an F-22. I did the instructions for his F-35. He does have the F-35B and C are ones I've already done instructions for. He's also sent me the A, but I haven't started on those yet.
Yeah.
I bought the Su-37 and the F-16 from him for a little project I'm doing. And then otherwise, he also sent me the Arleigh class destroyer, or Burke, I guess.
Oh, didn't you just finish that one?
Yeah, so it was 2,600 parts. He sends me the file and goes, no rush with this one, but definitely let me know. And I don't know what happened. I think I just had my coffee, and I just got into a groove because I finished the entire instruction set in about 7 hours.
Whoa!
For a 2,600 piece build.
That's redonkulous.
And I sent it to him along with the email that's like, I promise I didn't just throw this together. I put the normal amount of work I generally do. And he loved it. He loved how it turned out.
Energy, didn't you?
I passed the hell out afterwards.
Yeah, it is. Instruction making is not exciting.
No, it's very dull, but I have kind of a secret weapon when it comes to work.
Is it a moon?
It is a moon. Sorry, I've been trying to yes and more stuff just to make things entertaining. Anyway, so I did 4.5 years of catering, and that taught me, I guess, beyond everything else, just, for lack of a better term, the skill to be able to just focus on one given task for hours. We also had a little deli along with the shop,
right?
And we had sandwiches, sides, cookies, you name it. And sitting there and just having to wrap, not even being hyperbolic, anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 cookies in just one sitting.
Yeah.
You have to be able to just focus.
Yeah. I did banquet work for a while as well, and I can completely understand that. It's terrible. So what's your process for doing instructions? Do you, because I don't know if you guys watched the last one that I was doing.
I think a little bit. I saw you sort of in the step editor a little bit.
Yeah.
Step editor scares me, and so I don't go anywhere near it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just go straight over to page design. And part of my process is that he tried to separate each of the little sections for okay, everything is here in the cockpit, so that's 20 some odd pieces, so that's all in step 106. So if you obviously pull that over into step editor, it gives you a big shopping list of parts and then dumps them all in one area, and you have no way to really get a grasp on how to assemble them. Ugh. So I have to come into the file. And I sort of try to build by gravity, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
So I started down here on the belly.
Yeah.
And just for clarity, he has asked that I not go too far into these instructions while on stream because no one would buy the set.
Right.
So if I get too far on this one, I'll probably just switch over to the F-35. But that being said, so I picked these 3 parts right here on the bottom. And so when you came over here to the instructions, moved those into step 1. those are there. And so then after I know those are in step 1, I hide those bricks. And so the bricks I then can see are the ones that naturally sit on top. So I put those in step 2, then on to step 3, and you get the picture.
Yeah.
So are those minifigure scale?
So he builds them all in minifigure scale. Well,
Okay.
not all. The Arleigh Burke class, I think, was 1 to 150. Minifigure scale, I believe, if I remember correctly, is anywhere from 133 to 136, give or take, for like a 2-meter tall human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his recent ship was the micro figure scale. He was
so 1 to 150.
Yeah. Oh, this page is like creased.
So on Bricklink, how much would the F-22 be?
Something fell.
So he charges them in euros. I think it's like 12 or 13 euros. You know what? Let me check, because this one I'm working on right now, I'm pretty sure he already has on Bricklink. Bricklink. Designer.
Maybe it didn't. It did. Maybe I just heard it.
If you can't tell, I'm interested in I really want this.
Let's see. Yep.
If you don't find, oh wait.
Oh, I think this might be his old version. I'm not sure.
It's fine.
Let me see.
It's like missing one puzzle piece.
No, if it's any of these, I've got thousands of these.
Okay.
I'm also going to take this sweater off.
I thought you were gonna wear the sweater regardless of how hot it was.
Oh no, I changed my mind.
Ben.
Ugh.
You're not even on screen, are you?
No, that's why I'm taking it off, because I'm not even on screen. Like, nobody needs to see ugly sweater on screen if there's no screen.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like any Christmas sweater is now just called ugly, even if it's not.
So there was my kids are in band, and they had every time they have their Christmas concert, the director goes through and they have an ugly sweater contest. And my son has won a couple times because he wears a suit.
Sure.
And it's a full printed suit that they find on Amazon for $20 or something, but it's technically not Christmassy. Like, he wore one year, it was flamingos, but because then he had Christmas lights on his shirt underneath the suit, they're like, yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, I agree. They tend to be like a bit not ugly sweater anymore. They're just, well, that's a Death Star, or that's a Witcher or something.
Okay, that's right. It's not a Bricklink. It's Rebrickable. My bad. Let me see. F22, F22. There it is.
Do you have a link?
Pardon me. Yeah, I can post that in the chat, probably.
What's up, Brad's Life? How's it going?
Hey, some people.
Let's see. Yeah, Restream's great.
Scott Dean's here. Hi, Scott. Oh, it won't let you post it?
I can post it privately in the
private chat.
The private chat. So I've put it there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's 12 euros. So let's see, 12 euros to
It's like $15.
Oh yeah, 14.63.
That's actually pretty good for instructions of that level, or the model of that level.
Right. No, and I think that's perfectly fair given the amount of work he puts into designing them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, dude, he's got a lot of projects. And I know I'm gushing as I'm working on his stuff, but like he's just a rad, like, fun dude.
Yeah.
His live streams are always entertaining. He started doing video games here and there to just kind of fill out the days, but even those are pretty fun.
So he's Darth the designer, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
He's got a A10 and everything.
Yep, he's prolific AF, that's for sure. I mean, if I had, just hours and hours of the day to be able to design, I'm sure I'd be able to do that too.
Let's see, howdy Brad's Life, howdy Scott D. Bricks, welcome.
Yes, Scott, I am enjoying this. I mean, this is what I got at the Colosseum done so far. Like, I just opened it.
Hopefully we didn't lose a piece.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, when the instructions slipped back on me, and Beth thought she heard something hit the floor, but I've got like 57 Technic pins up here, and I'm like, if I miss one, I'll just go grab another one.
I think I still have PTSD from the Capitol.
This is true.
Yo, I pay some good money for a good AC 130.
Yeah, I don't think he is willing to take on a project that large. I know people have suggested it before, along with like the TU 160 Blackjack.
Yeah.
And he just, his response every time is like, no, too big.
Brad's Life says, going good. Just got out of work. Long day. How's it going? It's going well. It's going better now.
Wow, my brain just died.
Oh, what?
What?
What'd they do?
Oh, his
did we
phone
lose
just
him?
died. He said,
Oh, oops.
yeah. Yeah, he goes, oh, my phone just died. And then he disappeared. So you're on Julian watch.
What am I looking for? Just that
Another
it
little
pops
thing to
up
come up
again?
here.
Okay.
I'm going to do him left-handed. Oh, you know what a hurry we're in. There he is.
I just heard it. Okay. I was like, I heard a bloop.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
That was funny. You're like, well, my phone died, and then it just disappeared. And I thought you said your friend died. I was like, what? Did we bury some kind of lead? Why are you even here?
Like, dude,
Yeah.
They're not to be that guy, but like, there's more important stuff going on.
Right. It's Christmas Eve. My friend died. I'm just hanging out with you guys on the stream. What?
Just, in my room, in my corner, not doing anything.
Beth is watching me build a Lego set, and I am just in heaven right now.
You really are.
Nice.
Yep.
Let us know when you run out of room.
What's that?
Let us know when you run out of room on your desk.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How is this going to work? Because this is like
It's
bigger than
actually
the
not
desk,
that
right?
big. This is one half of it. So there's going to be more stuff here. So, I mean, I'll still have room on the table.
So here's my question. Where are you going to put it?
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah.
I told us that a long
Very good
time
question.
ago.
Because we have limited space.
Well,
I
it'll be
mean-
out here. I've got two
Okay.
tables, and I can put this one on the other table over there.
So not to talk too much about wedding stuff, but be aware we're going to need to use
I know.
those tables
Both
for
of
the
these
wedding.
tables are going to be used for the wedding. I get it.
I'll be right back.
Sorry, I'm such a buzzkill. This is why you don't need to have me on your stream. I'm
Well-
like, actually, let's talk about the practicalness of this.
We had to move away from military aircraft, and that was probably the best way to do it.
I mean, I couldn't think of a better segue, and I'm a writer.
Hey, I
love-
watched your video on you reading your old stuff. I wouldn't call you a writer just yet.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
rude,
No,
Dad.
no, full disclosure, Beth Fair back then.
Yeah.
I have a published book now, and it's much better, I promise.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Where can one get
See,
your
Ben, do you
published
have a
book?
published book?
No, I do not. I have a cartoon in the New Yorker. Does that count?
No,
Oh.
just kidding. That is pretty cool, though. Yeah, so where can we get your book, Kodiak?
So it's just on Amazon. Yeah, it's just on Amazon. I realized that was a complete thought.
I think we lost him again.
We totally lost him again. He's having so many problems. So, Brad and Scott, if you are not busy and want to stream with us, you're welcome to join up. I can send you the link to join if you are interested. The more the merrier, as they say around these merry, joyous times. What's the title of your book?
It's called The Man with the Golden Heart.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
I will look it up as soon as I'm done here.
No worries.
See, that's what I should have gotten you for Christmas
His book?
instead of the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would have looked at you really weird.
I think I would have. Well, it hasn't told me yet how many copies have been sold, if any. But I imagine if I got like a message like, Beth has bought this for Ben Frick Designs, and it included a little thank you letter. I'd be like, I mean, okay, but
Yeah.
there are like other things. Wouldn't exactly expect this on a Christmas list.
Right.
Maybe as a wedding gift.
I'm unsure. Did this come with a Lego set? I don't know why.
What does this have to do with Lego?
Yeah. Well, it's the history of Lego. We don't understand.
But yeah, I was thinking about that, about where you're gonna put it.
What is this?
Scott says, thanks for the offer. I'm in listen mode right now. Hey, no worries, man. You do you.
Kodiak says Julian says that he can join back in if he can, but he'll probably have to go. And he says, Merry Christmas to everybody here.
Well, Merry Christmas. Cheers as always, hanging out with you. Good to see if you can join. If not, no worries.
Yep. So I made my vacation list for the 10 days that I'm off, and Beth thinks that I'm crazy.
I do. Okay, here's my thing.
Prompting conversation.
Yeah, here's my thing. I think that it's okay when you're off work, if you're doing like a staycation, which everything is a staycation now because we can't go anywhere because of the stupid pandemic. I think it's okay to be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work around the house and maybe get some stuff done. But you also never really take a vacation. Like you don't just, sometimes you just need to sit around and watch.
That's not true. The last
Netflix
time I was
all day.
off, I played Squadrons or
I
something
was
all day.
so proud of you. I was so proud of you. It was the first time.
But I
that
called
you
in
took-
sick. It wasn't even a vacation. I was sick.
Yeah, but even when you call in sick, you still do stuff around the house. And I'm like, stop. So while I appreciate that there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be done around the house,
Oh, no.
I still hope, what'd you do?
I have to do this 2 times. That's what it was. So I have to go back because it's bag 1 and you have to use all this. And then you have to go back because I'm like, there's no way I used all that. So now I have to put this aside and start over again.
Yay.
I think that's how this works. Well, I mean, yeah, times 2.
Brick Vibe says, what's up?
Hey, Brick Vibe.
Howdy, Brick Vibe. Checking in for our New Year's vibe check. Well,
Yep. Yeah, so this is 2 of these. Goodness gracious. Okay. So times 2. So now I need to go back and rebuild this times 2. Starting up the shield.
But if you need a list of stuff to do while you're off, I'm going to give you wedding duties.
Okay, so part of my thing to do when I get all the stuff that I order from Amazon is to set up the backyard.
Yes.
And that's the wedding duties that I have. I bought lights. We got a new heater for out there, a new big patio heater that I have to build.
Which it's really
Set up
hard
all
to
the,
find right now because everyone, I guess, is doing outdoor gatherings for good reasons.
I think restaurants mostly are needing outdoor.
Well, and I'm not
space
convinced. So we bought one off of like a marketplace type thing, and it was like $220. And we saw them later at Costco, the exact same thing for half of the price.
I would say half, maybe like $70 less.
Right.
but still.
So I'm wondering if people are like scalping heaters, like they're buying
I think they
them
are
and selling them and
because
making
you can't
a profit.
find them. You can't find them at Home Depot, but then somebody on Facebook Marketplace has
10 of them.
10 of them, and you're like, ah, you dicks.
10
I just want
opens.
one. Yeah, I just want one. So I got to do that. And then I got a whole other list of stuff. Like
You need to get a suit.
I need to
figure out what you're
I'm
going to
gonna
wear. You don't need a suit necessarily. It's just a backyard thing.
I've got, I was thinking about doing an Instagram live of some whiteboard drawings.
That's cool.
Sure.
I'm going to sort. I got a couple of these. What are those? The 10717s, the classic boxes that are like 1,500 pieces of just regular rainbow colored brick.
Yeah.
And then my son got me a bunch of Sterilite drawers. They're the mini ones, and I've kind of already filled them.
That was a good gift.
That was a really good gift. So I'm going to do some sorting. What else is going to happen? We were going to record 2 episodes of the podcast.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not off, so.
Well, but I mean, we can watch and record 2 in like an afternoon, and then I can spend the time editing.
Yeah.
Because Lord Almighty, do you say so a lot?
I do. I need to work on that.
No, you don't. That's why there's editing. I'm sure Radiolab doesn't sound perfect when it comes in raw like that.
Whatever. That's how they talk all the time. I'm convinced.
Okay. Sorry. So every so often I have a heart attack while I'm working on these because since I build via gravity and connections, I'll come across something like the engines here where I just kept building up and up and up and there was no point of connection. And I was like, oh, Darth, did you not connect to the engine at all? That's
the worst when you think you've got a really rad design and then you realize that like half of it doesn't connect to anything else. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, son of a, really?
Of course, I am just as often blown away by just a solution that he has.
I would absolutely love to pick apart an IO file of his.
Oh, for example, this right here, I don't know if it's showing it, but like the landing gear, it's just held in by like a 3-long like pin wedged between 2 whole bricks. And like obviously if you've worked with those, you know that those just kind of dangle and swing.
Yeah.
And so he's got this little locking bar right here that you can hypothetically rotate down, push the landing gear up in, and then close.
Oh, yeah.
So that it's not sliding out.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's great.
It's full of stuff like that where I just have to marvel. Like, I would have never thought, like, look how he did the angled landing gear here. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Oh.
Anna family, that is, he's working in Studio, which is a Bricklink software.
Yeah, stud.io. Okay, got a Instagram follow from Mr. Julian. I shall follow back.
And hi, Anna family. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
I'm assuming that's Anna family, not ANA family. I think it stands for something. I'm not sure.
I think that is ANA family.
Yeah. Please elucidate us as to the meaning / pronunciation of your handle. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's the first time we've done like a Christmassy Christmas where we wake up, we don't have anything to do, we give each other presents. Because the last few years, we've either gone places,
sure,
or we've done like really big gifts, like a trip. And so there's really nothing to do on Christmas Day. It's just, and then what I do with my kids and their moms is we do Yule on the 22nd.
Okay.
we have done that for very many years because then they go out to El Paso to visit one of their moms, their stepmom's family in El Paso on Christmas. So we would do something early, and then they would take off, and then we could go see your family on Christmas, or I could go to Colorado and see my family.
Although the past couple of years, we just went to Colorado the week after,
Right,
or the day after.
So this year, because nobody's going anywhere, we still did Yule, but now it's like Christmas is like, well, we can come back, we can have dinner with you guys or something. Oh, this is a problem.
Yeah, so it's going to be, and we're not very good at surprises when it comes to Christmas. So like with the Colosseum, like I said, I told him I was getting it for him because he was talking about buying it himself. And I didn't know how to tell him not to buy it without sounding like the naggy fiance.
Right.
I guess I could have used the wedding as a reason just to tell you not to do
you
it,
did
but-
kind of say that because I was like, well, then after I get that, there's a couple other things I want. And you're like, well, now keep in mind, we're saving for a wedding. Like the thing I want is $40. It's not going to break us.
Right.
Yeah.
She said A is right. A is right. Kids' names.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Oh,
Or
that was
he.
a
I said she.
problem.
So yeah, so we're really
I don't
bad
like
at
that.
surprises, so we usually know what we're getting, but I did go ahead and get him a couple of other things, so
Yeah.
he'll have something to open.
Kids are getting a new laptop for Christmas. Wow.
Ooh.
That's super cool. This year, my son, I got him a couple of things off Amazon wish list. They're the age where my daughter's 19 and my son's 16. And so now it's just like, just make a list. I don't even know what you want anymore. And half the time I think you're just going to want money or a gift card to GameStop or something like that. So just you tell me.
Right.
So he got some Dragon Ball Z art this year, and my daughter got some crochet stuff. And where was I going with this? I forget. But yeah, in years past, it's been big things like they each got iPhone or, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And those are always the big gift type things. I think Colosseum is cool for display and thinking it would be sweet for Tatooine mocks later. Yeah. I don't know that I'm ever going to take, my voice went up really high. I don't know that I'm ever going to, I don't know that I'm going to take this one apart at any point, although it's going to be, from what I've seen, it's going to be chore to dust. So I don't know if it'll become something that is going to be parts later, because God knows I don't need any more tan.
Sure.
It was weird. It was like tan was kind of a weird little color. Like not a lot of things. There was like Egyptian sets that had some, but in general there wasn't a ton. Or sand green was another one. Yeah. So when I was doing the Capitol originally, there wasn't a whole lot of that color, and it was very expensive. And now it's like every third set has a ton of sand green in it.
Right.
I remember. So Greg and I are going to build PCs together because he wants a new gaming PC.
That's right.
And I need a new streaming PC, although I think I may just end up buying a Mac.
And that's good because that's something that you guys can do like in the garage, because his kids, of course it's a different household. So we've had to be very careful with COVID because we don't want to get them sick.
Yeah.
And
my daughter goes to college.
Sick. Yeah.
She's in band.
Yeah. So this is a good thing that you guys can do in a garage with masks on.
Yeah.
And
I got to clean out. That's the other thing on my list is clean out the garage.
To be fair, Greg's being safer than all of us.
Yeah. He's remoting in for school,
Yeah. Did you show the rings on the last one?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I did. Yay, my kids aren't getting it.
Pretty sure I did.
I mean, you can go get them if you want to.
I'm going to show them again.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
My kids are getting an updated PC so they don't have to share. That's great, Scott. That's cool. We're going to up our YouTube game this year. New camera, light, mics also. Yeah, I want to get, I think I'm set on lights and mic, and the webcam's okay. I'm not sure what I want to get next in terms of streaming, so I think just a computer would probably be the best. Because I'd like to be able to do studio without killing Studio and OBS without like ruining whatever memory I've got going on.
Yeah.
It's a beast. It doesn't seem like it, but it sure eats up a lot of memory.
Oh no, I absolutely get that.
If you turn off collisions, I guess, especially if you're doing instructions, if you turn off collisions and snap, it should free up a lot.
Well, yeah, usually because I've already gone through and done the collision. I did the check issues to verify there wasn't anything in this like bright green that he uses.
Yeah.
And otherwise had him do legal parts. So, yeah, no, there's definitely tricks to cut down and make the program run a little smoother.
Right. All right, Beth, do you want to show?
Yes. So if anyone didn't watch when you did this before, we're getting married next month and 3 weeks.
Well, next month.
Well, it's next month, but exactly 3 weeks. And we actually made our own rings. So Ben made mine.
So there's a place in town that's a jewelry academy or jewelry school where you can go and take lessons on how to do goldsmithing and stuff like that, work with stones and metals. And they have something called Forge Together where you can go in and with your significant other, make each other's rings.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
So this is Ben's. I made this.
And it's kind of hard to pick up on that,
Yeah.
but it's like a brushed silver.
Yeah.
Oh, rad nonetheless.
It was super
it's super
cool.
cool.
And they came with these really nice boxes too.
Yeah, you're going to keep those boxes forever.
Oh,
aren't you?
yeah.
I don't care about the boxes. It's like with Lego. Don't care about the boxes. Unless it's an idea set, and then for whatever reason I cling to the boxes.
So anyway, sorry, I'm excited about wedding stuff. That's all.
How many times have you tried the rings?
Be excited. Absolutely.
I've tried the rings on twice today.
Well, look at you.
I'm having issues with water retention, so I'm getting super nervous about that.
You should talk to your local city planner about that.
My local. I knew you were there.
Thank you. Is that the comptroller? No, I don't know. I love that all these little bits on the side are like three different shades of blue for no reason.
Nice.
Yeah. I got rum and cider, and I'm not drinking it as fast as I want to. It's my favorite time of year because I can mull some ciders.
Okay, I am about to.
You're gonna bail on us? Okay.
Yes, because my ankle's hurting and I feel like I need to elevate it.
Yeah, go get that ice cuff and put it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
No worries.
Good luck. It's nice talking with you. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody in the chats.
Scott and Anna.
Yeah.
Scott and A&A. That's it.
So, all right. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays.
Cheers, Beth.
Well, now that the ball and chain's gone, we can.
Hardy har har. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Now we can go for a beer run and.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to do was maybe try to do some it's on my list, but I don't exactly know if I'm going to be doing it. It was like overlay stuff for streaming, new music services, new toys and tools and stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, this works pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I've just got some, I think it's Nora Jones. Nope. It's Haranoda right now playing in the background, but I've got it.
Yeah.
Super quiet.
I was trying to do, I was going to do a Instagram live today. I was like all set up to do it. And then I was like, oh wait, I can't listen to music because I thought about doing it with some Christmas music in the background. And then I was like, oh yeah, I probably can't do that. So I looked it up and it's like, yeah, you can't do that. And I was like, I didn't figure I could.
Right.
So then I'm like, well, then I'm not going to do it. And then I talked myself out of it. But I was trying to figure out, I was looking up is there royalty-free Christmas music? And there really isn't.
No. Although back with my ex, we threw like a Christmas party I guess holiday party, whatever you want to refer to it as.
Thanks for being here, ANA family. Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, cheers. Anyway, so we throw in this party, and I'm not the kind of person who keeps Christmas music just on hand.
Mm-hmm.
So we found a just like YouTube mix, and threw it on and just had it up on the TV. And at one point in the night, we sort of glanced over and realized that we had ended up on the weird part of YouTube.
It just kept suggesting stuff and rolling into it.
Because it was still Christmas music, but whoever made like because it usually has like, you know, a big title card with just the list of all the songs that it plays. Usually some like snow animation, some clip art Santa, you know, nothing fancy. But there were just some oddities in there. Like one of the song titles was Jesus is Save.
Oh my goodness.
And just these like horribly broken translations of these songs. And we at one point just kind of became more enamored with that.
Right.
Than anything else actually going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got a friend who does a power hour every year.
Okay.
For those who don't know what a power hour is, he assembles an hour's worth of minute-long clips, weird stuff from YouTube, weird and funny stuff.
Nice.
And every minute, so every time there's a new clip, you take a shot of beer. Okay. And this was great when we started doing this 10 years ago, and they've been doing it for maybe 15 years. Now it's like, yeah, I'm going to be there and watch the funny things, but I may or may not actually drink.
Sure.
We still try, but you get about 45 minutes in and you're just like, I am so full right now. So that sounds like some of those things where those types of videos where you get so far down into the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Sorry.
Scott Brick says, I'm almost done getting all the microfighters. Then I will start building mocks, etc. Hey, Scott, you could always, you know, there's more microfighters. I know of a lot more microfighters that you could get somewhere. Just saying, you know, I'm just kidding. Merry Christmas, Chris. Chris Piers on Facebook. Thanks for being here, man.
Merry Christmas.
Good to see you on the stream. How you been? How are things?
How you been? I see what you did there.
Oh, Lego Boy 88 is on. Hello, Lego Boy. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas. We're just hanging out, building and designing. So I got really excited about that last TIE shuttle that I did, and I went and I thought I had all the pieces for it.
Yeah.
And I don't.
So
I've ordered, now I'm like waiting on like 4 different Bricklink orders, and it's frustrating because it's Christmas.
Sure.
But I've already got all my Christmas like shopping and stuff done. So I'm like, why isn't my Amazon order and Bricklink order just getting here when I want it to? What's the holdup?
Yeah.
So rest of the world spins.
I always feel bad about holidays because I do everything I can to not order stuff if I can help it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can't. But and that was sort of reinforced. I was listening to Well, There's Your Problem, another just great podcast. Just so many plugs tonight. Anyway.
Thanks for coming by, Lego Boy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers. So they had I guess, a segment at the end of every podcast called Safety Third.
Uh-huh. Oh, I think I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, where someone sends in like a story of, you know, something they've personally experienced in the workplace regarding safety. And the particular one they covered was in reference to, if I remember correctly, like a FedEx or UPS like sorting warehouse.
Uh-huh.
and how this lady just almost got crushed to death by like bags of dog food and a set of barbells.
Oh goodness.
Just because like those warehouses just become insane during the holidays.
Oh yeah.
And so ever since I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna like not order stuff.
Yeah.
If I can help it.
And we've been trying. This year was especially hard because like last year it was a big push, I think, just for us personally to be like, okay, we're going to do more local stuff. We're just going to go pick stuff up. We're going to go to art collectives. We're going to go to, find stuff locally. We're not going to use Amazon. We're going to try to order directly from a person or a small store. And then this happened. And now we're just like, if I don't get an Amazon box like once a day, I feel like I'm missing out on life or something. It's just, it's terrible.
It's almost its own form of validation these days.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have social interaction now. I've got to have a box that shows up. My whole Christmas shopping list this year was, I did like one giant order at Amazon. It was like one day, and I just, you fill your cart full of a ton of crap, and then you hit the button. You just feel the power drain from your house. It goes,
yep.
You bought all your crap. Congratulations.
You did it.
There's a place here in Austin that I loved going to. It's called Blue Genie, and it's one of these like art collective kind of things where local people, sometimes not local to Austin, but like Dallas or Houston, and they have jewelry and knickknacks and paintings and shirts and stuff like that. Okay. But it's always really good for getting kind of unique stuff for people who you feel have everything already or don't need anything, but you're still trying to.
Sure, just kind of one of those you're not going to be fighting with anyone else.
Right, exactly.
Or rather getting someone a gift and they go, oh, so-and-so already got me this.
Yeah.
And you're just like, cool, great, awesome.
Yeah. So, but they had this year, you could go if you set up like an appointment. There was like appointment times, and they were only letting a few people in at a time. And I'm still like, I don't know that I want to do that. I'm going to mute while I open bags.
That's fine. I will be here.
Okay.
Welcome back.
I love instructions like this.
Let's see.
Do that 46 times.
Yeah.
46 times. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Don't do anything for the next 10 minutes. Just this one piece.
Yep. Just live and breathe this one step.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone said this was pretty repetitive, and I was like, well, that is not a bad thing.
Right.
One of the sets I actually still really want to get is the Taj Mahal, and I heard that was actually one of the most repetitive sets as well.
Yeah, I could see that.
Is that right? Oh yeah, okay, just those two. I wonder if I could get some music, if that would weird out the background.
So my usual go-to anytime I have to use music for something of that application is video game music.
Yeah.
Just because I know there are a lot of live streamers who would, I mean, for lack of a better term, go ballistic if they're in the middle of their playthrough of Banjo-Kazooie and suddenly the stream gets shut down for music.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it'll be weird with the audio from the laptop and then the mic and stuff. We can try it out.
I mean, I'd say the worst that can happen is you try it.
Yep. All right. There we go. Yeah, there's a it's not video game music I could probably use.
Sure.
But there is a have you played Horizon Zero Dawn?
I have not, actually.
It's a PlayStation only, so you have to have a PlayStation.
Yeah, that would be why I haven't played it.
There you go. It is it's not the reason I bought a PS4 originally, because the reason for that was Battlefront.
Sure.
But this came out and I got it, and it was amazing. It's one of the best games I've ever played.
Sure.
And the soundtrack is also really great. And if you go on YouTube and just look up Horizon Zero Dawn soundtrack, there's like a 4-hour video of the entire game soundtrack. And it's great to like work to and study to. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
I wish I could play it while we're doing this, but I think I would probably get nipped.
Yeah, might get VOD muted.
Yep.
Always crummy, but I also understand why they do it.
Yep.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of different video game soundtracks that just get me through my work day.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I have something that I've got to kind of like buzz around the shop and do multiple things at once, and you know, a lot of it just ends up being time management, then usually I'll put on like the Pikmin soundtrack.
Oh yeah?
Always puts me in like a management mood.
That's pretty funny.
And same if like I've just got to kind of like focus on something to get it done efficiently or quickly, or even just as a general like, all right, this is what I'm choosing to listen to today. I'll go with like the Ace Combat music.
Mm-hmm. Is there a new flight sim? Is that the Ace Combat one you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, flight sim is sort of suggestive. It's more of a flight arcade.
Okay.
Because while it's, and again, I'll go ahead and put the asterisks of semi-realistic as far as how the planes like fly and handle.
Right.
You can carry like 800 missiles.
Okay. So it's more like playing Star Wars than it is actual
Yeah.
World War II, Vietnam.
That and so the game I was doing a playthrough of this the most recent one with a friend of mine, and she doesn't know a whole lot about like military stuff. It's definitely not her bread and butter to any degree.
Right.
That being said, she is fairly entertained when goofy stuff happens. Like, you know, we'll watch bad action movies together just because sometimes, you know, it reveling in its own awfulness can be entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a couple movie nights we do that. We find the schlockiest movie we can.
Yeah. So a tenet of the Ace Combat games is at some point, you know, everything's been leading up to effectively some form of super weapon or threat to the entirety of humanity, and you, the lone mute pilot, have to fly into a tunnel to save the world.
Did you say mute?
Oh yeah, you never talk.
That's
Like everybody talks for you and to you. And what's sort of beautiful about the writing of the 7th game, or something that I started to appreciate as I played a little more, is that, you know, Ace Combat 4, Ace Combat 5 took themselves very seriously. Like, very sober, very, you know, like, oh, this is our message, we're putting it forward. Totally ignore the part where you're carrying 80 missiles. You know, don't bother with any of that.
Don't read too far into it.
This one, they still had those elements. However, they sort of allowed themselves to get a little goofier, and they wrote more jokes into the script. Like at one point, one of your co-pilots, because you have to go up against like enemy reinforcements that just sort of came in out of left field. And one of your co-pilots mentioned something to the effect of like, oh, Mage and I will go in and take him on. He's certainly not protesting. Not that he ever talks.
It's very self-aware.
Yeah, and I didn't notice it until my second playthrough, and I was like, oh, he's acknowledging that I never talk.
Yeah, that's that weird trope of a lot of those sort of you are a character that you don't get to create. So, or if you do get to create it, we can't give you a voice because it's so varied.
Right.
Yeah.
But even at that, you can't say, like, your co-pilots when they launch missiles, it's like, Fox 2, Fox 3, Winchester, they're doing the brevity codes. But when you do something, AWACS does your brevity codes.
Oh, man.
On top of all their other announcements.
Right.
And there's one particular part. So I'm just sitting here fumbling as I talk. But there's another part where you've been put in prison, but it's like a prison airfield. So, like, you're a convict, but you still get to fly jets.
That makes sense.
It does. It does. And basically, it's your first day on the job of... Effectively, they're trying to use this airfield as, like, a distraction. Because since the enemy thinks it's a real airbase, they are shelling it.
Okay.
They're putting rounds on it. They're they're shooting at it. But since your side is like, oh yeah, it's just like a convict base, those are just waste bombs. Like, we're not worried about it. Anyway, at one point they send you up to like scramble, and though you're not allowed to shoot anyone until they bomb the control tower. And control tower's like, okay, do something about them, and then presses the magic button that lets you use your missiles.
Oh my god.
And so you start retaliating against the bombers. And in the background, your co-pilots are talking about taking bets on whether or not you'll survive.
Oh, jeez.
And you get through the whole thing, and they kind of have this disappoint. Or one of the guys is like, "Oh man, he made it." And another guy made the joke of like, he could still crash while landing.
Oh, jeez.
And this is like the fourth or fifth mission in the game. They're pretty well aware that a lot of the people coming for Ace Combat 7 are at the very least familiar with what Ace Combat is.
With the jokey joke.
Well, and this one did a lot more of the jokey jokes. But what sort of made it odd to me was as it then proceeds to let you land, I thought to myself, the game knows that I know how to land. I've done this before.
Right.
So, of course, I pitched my aircraft 180 degrees and accelerated into the runway. Blew up. And AWACS, I got a mission failed, of course. And AWACS, like, oh, he crashed. And then the other guy chimes in and goes, I guess I won after all.
Oh my god.
And what's beautiful to me is they didn't have to do that. They could have left it at the, like, oh, he crashed, and just left it as the every other line in the game, but they actually took the time and or put the thought into it of like, what do we put these extra voice lines in here?
Right.
The player actually crashes while landing.
Yeah, they followed that tree all the way down.
Mm-hmm. And Darth Designer, actually, he did a whole playthrough of the Ace Combat games through some of his live streams.
Yeah. Oh, that seems right up his alley.
Yeah, no, and he, I told him right at the beginning, I was like, have fun fighting drones. He's like, oh, it can't be that bad. And by the third live stream, he's like, Cody, I see what you mean. I hate these things. Oh, I tried to warn you, bud.
Yeah. I need to get a good. There's some on the PS4,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all kind of the same, like you said, like arcade style, shoot 'em up kind of thing. So
And there's nothing against that. I know that the game itself has detractors of like, oh, it's not realistic. It's like, well, yeah, that's not the kind of game I'm here for.
right.
Like, I don't want to actually have people shoot at me. That's why it's an escapist fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm aware that I will never fly an F-18.
Oh, I wish, but yeah. Plus, I don't have like a nice joystick, and
Oh, sure. Yeah, there are definitely elements that can make it a more inclusive experience. I was about to say realistic, but again, without investing in a room that tilts and pitches and exerts G-forces on you,
right.
on your flight suitless body.
Yup. All right.
Oh, man.
So what are you working on now?
Still doing the instructions. I just, every so often I run into something like this where I've inserted these two pieces, but there's this overhang. And I don't want to expect the people who are actually putting this together to like go in and, unclamp the piece that they just put in. I want to actually put in the work to make it flow. And so I've just got to go back and redo these last couple steps.
So Brick Vibe was on earlier, and I was working on a set that he had suggested for his site, the Cobb Vance speeder, and you saw the last stream where I was like freaking out because I couldn't. I need to do all these. Shoot. Because I put it together after I'd done all the design work on it, and it didn't work really well. And I was like, oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him I was going to be doing, giving him instructions for it, and it wasn't working. So now I'm like, well, trade these pieces out and trade these pieces out.
Sure.
It's kind of a bummer. I can't think that I actually had a big extra. Maybe I did. Huh. Let's go over here. I have to do all these.
I'm going to check the render here in a moment, but I might also ask Darth if he minds if I put this one up on Instagram just outside of the instructions I've made.
Okay.
Because so far I like how this one's out. Like I'm watching it. It's halfway or so through the render. And I didn't think putting the little like glowing tile in the background as a sort of pseudo sun would actually work.
Mm-hmm.
But so far it's achieving exactly the effect I wanted it to.
Nice.
And I'm watching it in the screen right now, but again, since I've just told Restream to watch the one specific part, it's not actually moving over. Let's see, BF 1.46. So I don't know if you mind asking, but what got you into like microfighters? Because that is, if nothing else, sort of a niche.
Yeah.
It's an excellent niche, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of curious and sort of wanted to ask the man himself, as it were, what if anything got you started in that?
I'm not really sure. There was a I don't even remember if I bought a set for myself originally or if somebody got me one.
Okay.
Because they're kind of the perfect size to get as a gift for somebody, especially if it's like, I know this person's into Lego. I don't know what they have. This is $12. I'm not out of any money. Merry Christmas.
Sure.
Or if I was like, you know what, these are pretty cool. I want to actually get some because I got into it pretty late. Like I didn't get any of the first series of Microfighters at all. I got into it like series 2 or 3. And then went back and bought a couple that I could find online or just sourced the parts later. It was probably like 2017, I guess. And by then, Microfighters had been out for like 3 years.
Sure.
And had already gone through a giant push on like Eurobricks and Brick Brothers and all those sites that are kind of forum driven and community oriented, where everybody would come together and say, hey, these little sets are actually really rad. Let's see if we could do something else with them. And so people would make like Star Trek ships or other Star Wars ships or other science fiction things or, you know, A-10s or F-18s or something. So they would just pick all kinds of stuff and make it that size.
Okay.
So I came into it about 3 or 4 years, 2 or 3 years late. And it was because I got all this current sets that I could get and then said, well, now what I want to do is get all the sets I don't have. And that started showing up as sets from San Diego that were given as exclusives that you can't just get off Bricklink without paying. Like the Slave 1 Microfighter came in this like tin and it had like, I don't know if it was a one of a kind Boba Fett, but there weren't too many Boba Fetts, I think, that had a certain cape or something.
Okay.
But like in the tin itself, it was like $200.
God damn.
And I was like, there's no way I'm paying $200 for a 80-piece set. Yeah. So I was like, surely I can find all the sets, all the pieces, and just do it myself. And in the process, I was like, well, they have a Y-Wing. Why don't they have a Republic Y-Wing? Or they have this. So that started me down the road of, well, I'm going to start doing this myself. And if I can find these pieces, and then I found Studio, or stud.io almost at the exact same time. Yeah. And I was like, guess what I can do with this is I can just change the color of this and then order the pieces I need, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, bada bing, bada boom, you're in business.
Right. So after that, I was like, you know what? I could just do this for the rest of my life because there's unending number of Star Wars ships.
Oh yeah, it's and even with Disney sort of axing the former extended universe, even with that, there are still just I can't quite say incountable, but definitely a large number of just ships.
Yeah,
perfectly available for exactly what you do.
Yeah, and I'm not above dipping into legend stuff because that's a lot of the legend stuff was kind of what kept me going in Star Wars for a long time because that's all we had.
Yeah.
So it was nice to actually go back through and like say, well, now I'm going to build a K-Wing or now I'm going to build an E-Wing and just be really weird with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it started.
Nice.
Yeah. And now I'm trying to do other things. That's the tricky part is like, well, I've really got this Microfighter stuff kind of nailed down. I should start building other things. Not that I've never built anything else, but you know.
Oh, sure.
Why is that? I've got a friend who's running this group on Facebook. It's a music group, music appreciation group.
Sure.
And he's a writer / artist. He's actually a lawyer up in Canada. But he was with a lot of us when we were doing comic book stuff. And he created a web comic series and had a bunch of us do the art for it as kind of a collective thing to do together. And it never really, it got some play, but not major recognition.
Sure.
But now he's got this Facebook group with mostly friends, but it's music appreciation, and he constantly posts in it. And he does brackets and tournaments and stuff with music. So it's like, or in contests where, let's say you're trapped on a desert island and you could bring one album with you. What would it be? And you go through 10 rounds of that. So in round 1, you have to pick an album. And if there's 20 people playing, the first round is pretty safe. But as soon as you pick something,
no one else can pick
that artist.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool because a lot of times people are like, oh no, you picked, Led Zeppelin, or you picked Grateful Dead. I can't do that anymore. And meanwhile, I'm over here going, none of you have ever listened to any of the crap that I listen to, so I am not worried about this one bit.
Yeah.
So if I've done it like 3 times in a row, and now I'm like, yeah, I'm always going to pick the same albums and the same artists because no one else is going to pick them.
Nice.
But it's a lot of fun. And I brought that up for a reason, and now I can't remember.
Semantics.
Yeah. What time is it? Got anybody else? Oh, I haven't even been looking at the chat.
I fall victim to that more than I care to admit.
Oh, Scott says, later all, Merry Christmas and happy building. Thank you for being here, Scott. I appreciate it.
Later, Scott. Cheers.
Micro is figures plus cool plus space considerations. I don't have space for huge ships. That is a very good point.
Yeah, and that's another huge appeal to the microfighters.
Is the size usually?
Yeah, is that you can kind of do like stuff with them.
Yeah.
Actually display them and have them around like that. That SU-35 I built, I measured it, and it's about, I want to say like 6. I'm trying to think of a good way to put this, but it's like 6/10 or 7/10 of a meter. So it's just
so 60 centimeters,
give or take. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And right now I've got it kind of hanging up on top of my. There's like I live in a studio, and so kind of where the hallway to the door is, over into the bathroom, I've sort of semi-sectioned off with one dresser and another dresser on top of that.
Okay.
And so it's just sitting on top of the second dresser, but that it pretty much takes up the entire or half of the top of that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around like there's nowhere else to put it.
Yeah.
That is where it lives now. If I redecorate, that is the one thing that's not moving.
Yeah. I had the same thing with the Global Hawk that I did. The wingspan was like, I don't even know how big it was. I never measured it. Now I took it apart, but it was like 108 studs.
Yeah.
Wingspan. So I mean, it was probably a full meter wide, and it had to live kind of by itself on a shelf somewhere because it's like it wasn't very tall, it wasn't very deep, but it was very
right.
So yeah. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this once it's done. I can put it on a table, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the microfighters are great because you can get a ton of them and they take up very little space. What I've been starting to do with them too is if I get an idea for a neat custom figure that I can build a ship around, then now I've got this great, the pieces that comprise the ship are $8 or something, or even less, but the figure is $20. So you're getting a nice custom figure from like Big Kid Bricks or any of those other places. And it's like I built the ship around it to kind of feature it.
Right.
So any Christmas traditions you got going on tonight?
Not really. My family my family are definitely the ones that usually celebrate, but with everything going on this year, it's just going to be kind of quiet. Tomorrow I'm probably visiting my dad first. He's give or take about 60 miles south down in Provo.
Okay.
And so I'm heading there first, and then afterwards going up through a canyon to the town I grew up in called Midway, where my mom's at.
Cool.
That's kind of my drive plan for tomorrow. But yeah, just small gatherings, definitely being safe about everything.
Excellent. Yeah, being safe's important.
Indeed.
What's up, Travis? Happy holidays to you as well.
Howdy, Travis.
You and yours. I would invite you to join us. I know we only have I'm only going to go about another 20 minutes because I still am old and need sleep. But yeah, I know last time we had technical issues. So we're going to have to figure that out. We're going to have to get you a laptop or something.
Okay. Sorry, every so often I have to catch myself remembering that it's not my stream and I can't just say whatever I want to say.
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
I promise I cannot. Are you familiar with I guess he changed his name. He used to be known as Sexual Lobster, but now he goes by Greasy Tails.
No, I don't know. I don't recognize that at all.
Okay. Very crass, like early animations.
Okay.
Or early as in like right around the time YouTube started, like this guy was just uploading right away.
Okay.
Anyway, he has a song called Rectal Computer.
Oh my God.
And so the way you said laptop computer just made me think of the way it goes in the song, and I was like just about to start singing.
Yeah, I mean,
let me explain myself
right
before I just throw those words out there.
That's funny.
Sorry, you were saying?
Oh, no. I was going to say this is not I've got this marked as not a kid's stream, so we're good.
Cool.
We had to mark our podcast as explicit because we kept dropping F-bombs like every third sentence, and I was like, Beth's like, you're gonna edit that out, right? I'm like, why? Are you in this to make money?
Hey, fair enough. And I have nothing against the people that do censor themselves. I understand that Lego is inherently a hobby directed at children.
Yes.
That being said, I work 9 to 5. I'm gonna speak how I speak.
Yeah.
I don't feel I have to apologize to anyone. But therein lay the other thing is I also have tact, and I understand I'm not going to walk into, I guess, what would now be the carcass of a Toys R Us and, talk like I normally do. Like, no,
right.
I'm going to have a different demeanor. And if I'm not the one hosting the stream, I'm going to mitigate myself and not because I normally would.
Right. And there's a bit of that too when I'm just doing it by myself too, that
sure.
You may accidentally let a few things slip, but on the whole, you're trying to at least be congenial.
See, Travis says a buddy of mine just dropped off a computer he built for me, so soon.
Ooh.
Soon.
That's gonna be great. That's gonna be great for your videos too. You're gonna be able to do more, edit more.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully. I don't know what you've got now. You may be doing just fine. Oh yeah, this is going to be a slog. I cannot wait.
I remember one set back in the day that was particularly, I can't even really call it boring, I guess just dull. To build was that collector's edition Death Star, the like 3,000 bricks.
The one that didn't have any play features inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Do that twice.
Yeah, when I built that thing, I think I was 10, 11. Anyway, but even then, I remember having to craft each of those little like arching panels for both the top and the bottom that weren't, to me, the exciting sections, like the half constructed parts.
Right.
Those panels got really boring.
I think the most boring one I've done before this, I'm trying to think. This is going to be pretty bad, but I want to say like there were some repetitive parts to the Saturn V.
Okay, but, I can see that.
But repetitive only because I know you had to do it, right. But it was still, there was a lot of really interesting construction elements, and it was fun to do them. So I didn't feel like it was too bad.
Yeah, Christmas, it's not that I don't celebrate it necessarily. I can't think off the top of my head of any like traditions that I have.
Yeah.
As far as even getting a Christmas tree, I didn't even do what I normally do. Since I keep cats and live in a studio apartment, obviously having a genuine tree just isn't an option for me.
Right.
So I usually go to like a car wash, and I get one of those little like palm or the pine trees that you hang like off your rearview mirror.
Okay.
And I'll draw ornaments on that.
Oh, that's pretty cute.
And that's my Christmas tree, as it were.
Yeah.
But I didn't even have time to do that this year. Actually, no. Let me rescind that. I did not make the time to do that this year.
There you go. We usually, I know that Beth isn't a huge Christmas person either.
Sure.
And so it's like every year, I'm like, are we going to get a tree? I don't care. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, Christmas isn't my favorite holiday. So if you want one, great. If not, I'm not going to say anything. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So the last couple of years, we just didn't. We had one a couple of years ago, and it was fine. But I don't know. I growing up, I remember having the tree that you unpacked from the basement or the attic every year. So we would get live trees the last few years, and I just remember being such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, you have to keep watering it. I'm like, why? It's dead. We cut it from its roots.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why you got to keep watering it. I'm like, if I ever die, don't keep feeding me cheeseburgers. That's not how this works. So this year, the last year, I think we didn't really have a tree at all.
Sure.
But this year we have like this little 2-foot something that is like already has lights on it. And I was like, yeah, I'll put 5 ornaments on it and call it good. Mm-hmm. But we also have presents this year. The last couple of years have been the big, hey, let's just spend money on each other for a vacation or something. But this year,
fair enough.
Yeah. Something to put under it.
All right. Chit chat here.
This will be perfect because as soon as I'm done with this bag, it'll be right about 10 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you're an hour ahead.
Oh yeah, it's only 9 there.
Yep.
Or soon to be.
It's still dark, but
Oh yeah. It gets. I mean, you're surrounded by mountains too, so
yeah. No,
it's
the
dark at like 4 o'clock there.
Here it's actually. Yeah, no, I think today it was closer to like 4:30.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those days living in close to Boulder in Colorado.
Yeah.
Where it's like 4 o'clock and you're like, well, it's time to go inside.
It's
The wolves are coming out.
the day is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worse if you live because I live sort of Center Valley, kind of ish, I guess. So the sun rises in the winter, give or take, 6:30, and then a little bit earlier, just as the summer goes on.
Yeah.
But then, as it gets into night, again, winter months 4:30, and then respectively a little closer to 6 or 7 is when you're getting your genuine like sunset if you're in the summer. Obviously it's more exaggerated if you live on the west or the east side of the valley, because I know there are ATMs we work on over on the east side in a town called I've just forgotten the name. Good Lord, I hate that place and I've forgotten its name.
I hate it so much.
No, I do. It's an awful city. It shouldn't exist. What is it called?
Should we pull up Google Maps?
I'm about to, actually. I'm actually kind of impressed that I have forgotten the name of the city. Anyway, if you're heading there at like 3:30 in the winter, like the sun is gone.
Oh yeah. Well, and Beth's parents live
Magna. Sorry.
Magna.
Yeah, Magna.
Anyway,
Beth's parents.
We're gonna dunk on the town of Magna now.
Yep.
You know who you are, stupid town.
Magnonians.
Magnonians. Magnamites.
Ah, there you go. Anyway, Beth's parents.
So part of Kentucky is, I think they've got a time zone split. So part of it is Eastern and part of it is Central. But it's like the Central is like way the most Eastern part of Central. So the first time I went and visited, they're like, the time zone really threw me. I'm like, God, it's late. And they're like, no, it's only like this time. I'm like, no, it's dark. Just because I'm just used to being on the other side of Central.
Right. I get that completely.
Oh, all these tiles.
Yeah, I knew I wouldn't be done with this instruction set in the time while we were doing the live.
Yeah.
Very impressed with myself if I got anything beyond just like mildly into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some of the stuff you were working on Instagram. And when you pulled that up tonight, I was like, oh, he's going to be at that for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. Estimated render is 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Oh my God.
We are 1 hour and 20.
Yep. That's the one thing I do not like about this little Mac,
mm-hmm.
or even my laptop from work, is that the renders for 80 pieces to 100 pieces is still like 15 minutes, which seems like it shouldn't be that much. But then if I ever wanted to do some of the animations that you can do on it, like the little spinny putting together kind of bit,
yeah,
that he goes, "Oh, you'll be done this weekend." And I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, it's going to take 72 hours." I'm like, "No, I'm not going to leave my computer tied up for 72 hours."
72 hours, right?
For a microfighter, that's just stupid.
Yeah, geez. Because I remember I did that one for like Thomas the Tank Spider.
Uh-huh.
And that, if I remember correctly, took 13 hours.
Ugh.
And I just let it run overnight. I was like, yep, nope, that's fine. Just do your thing. And of course, if there were any mistakes, I just had to keep thinking to myself, like, great, I got to sit here for another 13 hours if there's any mistakes. Luckily, there weren't.
Have you run into any mistakes while rendering?
Well, every so often, and it's usually something I did, where like I didn't color a brick correctly, or
that kind of mistake.
Yeah, something's like not where it should be.
Gotcha.
Or I got the lighting from the wrong angle, which I wish so heavily that there was a way to sort of, because I know it lets you pick like, oh, left front, left rear, all that for your lighting. Hey, like, give me a little box.
Yeah.
That's my light source.
Yeah, give me, or a preview. Like,
or at the very least, like, more than just 4 different directions, and then I have to tilt my build to get it in the right lighting.
Yeah.
Rendering it every single time. But I also understand that, you know, this is a program largely available for free.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not asking for the moon here, but I'm also not going to petition them for it either.
There's a they have a forum where you can go like suggest features and stuff. They're not super responsive, but when I was doing the Capitol and I was running into problems because I had a limited machine with limited memory and stuff like that. And I was like, look, I've got 65,000 pieces. I'm bumping up against something where every time I try to do like one thing, like I try to move one piece, the whole thing locks up. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm not done building it yet, but I'm so close. And all I have to do is like half a dozen things and then save it and I'm good. And I'm like, but every time I do it, it crashes. And they're like, well, turn off collision and snap. And like, as soon as I did that, it freed up 60% of the memory. And I'm like, oh yeah, easily. So yeah, and that was, I forget her name, Summer. I think she was at one point one of the programmers are just like programmer liaison or something, but they're fairly responsive if you know your request isn't completely outlandish or something.
Right.
So, well, I am done for the night. This is what I got.
Let's see. Well, thank you for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure to get a chat with you.
Yeah, same. Likewise. You have a very Merry Christmas tomorrow.
You as well, good sir, and cheers.
And I will talk to everybody soon. You guys all have a good night.
Likewise. Deuces.
Peace. Bye.